All right, you feather merchants. I have three different prison stories I'm going to share with you. One that it's a happy one, the other one's a sad one, and the third one, you tell me what you think about. Anyway, the first one is it happened in the early '90s, and I believe it was when I had a yard crew because I was out on a roadway on B Yard watching the yard, and I had there was a black inmate that came up to the fence and asked to talk to me. So I went over there, and he said he had a problem, and he was wondering if I could help him. And so I asked him, I said, "Well, what's your problem?" He said he needed a cell move, and I told him, I said, "Well, that's up to your building officer." And evidently he had tried that with negative results. Anyway, I told him, I said, "Well, what's the problem?" He said they assigned him to this cell with this older convict. And as soon as he moved into the cell, the older convict told him, he says, "The bottom bunk is mine, the top one is yours." He said, "Anything that's in my locker, I don't want you touching." He said, "The TV is mine, and I don't want you looking at it." And he said, "I want you to get up in your top bunk right now, and I don't want you jumping up and down on the bunk." And he said, the old guy further said, "And if you piss me off," he said, "you're going to think you just ran into Bruce Lee reincarnated." And I thought, well, what a good line. In fact, I used that over the years myself. You know, it was a good one. Anyway, I told him, I said, "Gee, let me see what I can do." So I believe I talked to his building officer, and we went to the sergeant and was able to get him a bed move right away. And he had someone that he could sell with, so we made that happen, and that was like a happy story for everyone. But this other one is it also took place in the early '90s, and I believe I was working in B8 on B Yard at the time, and there was a convict there that had an A number, so he'd been down for a long time. Now, I don't remember if he was, they were just going to release him or he was going to parole. It seems like he was up for parole and he had to leave. And he said, "I don't want to go. I want to stay right here. This is my home." So we talked to him, and evidently the guy, he had no family, he didn't have anyone, no friends on the outside, but he had to go. And we talked him into packing his gear and leaving. And I remember watching him when he walked out that building, and he was, you can tell this guy was really depressed, and he was about to walk into a world that was really alien to him. You know, everything was different. He had no place to go. I don't know whatever happened to him. I always thought he would probably, as a last resort, do something to come back to prison. But anyway, that was the last I saw of him. Now, this next one, this happened. This happened on B Yard too, and I was. Of course, in the early '90s, and I believe I was in B7. I believe this happened in B6 or B7. There was a Cuban guy. He was a mental case. He was one of the convicts or lunatics that Castro kicked out or let loose from Cuba, and he ended up in prison and managed to work his way into Pelican Bay. Anyway, he was mentally unstable. And this is before they had all the psychs and all that nonsense. Anyway, he had an argument with the regular unit officer, building officer, and I think I was working a relief position, and I happened to be with the building officer. And anyway, the Cuban wouldn't lock up, and he told the building officer, he said, I want you to come in here. I've got something for you. Well, what he had done, he defecated in his hand, and he had his hand behind his back, and he told the officer to come in because he had something for him. And so the officer told me, he says, no, that's okay. He says, I don't want it. And he said, if the convict told me, he said, if you don't come in here right now, I'm going to eat this. And he said, well, whatever you want to do. And he started eating that, and I thought, oh. You know, it's like you see stuff in a prison, especially Pelican Bay. You see stuff in there that is, it's unbelievable. But he eventually ended up, I don't remember, I remember the last I saw of him, he was tied down to a stretcher, and they were taking him out of the building, and I don't know whatever happened to him. He never came back, but anyway, that's the last story, and I just want to share that with you guys, and it's just another reason, 3 reasons why you do not want to come to prison. Oh, the last thing you should do is do anything that would make you come to a prison. Anyway, all right, you feather merchants, you have a good day. All right.